I never really know what can and cannot be seen here. But I have found that for the most part, YouTube doesn't send out notifications anymore unless it's a vertical video. So I have a higher chance of reaching you guys, especially when there's something important that some of you are meant to see live if I do this setup. So hopefully some of you have gotten used to the shift here. I'm going to warn you that this energy is a little, I don't know. It's not my favorite kind of energy to tap into, but at the same time I'm not really here to do what I want to do. I'm here to do what needs to be done. So my hope is that whatever you are meant to get out of this message, it comes clear and maybe even comes easy. Yeah? All right. I have some runes here. I've already blessed. Let me see what I need to do. Yeah, let's go ahead and get in to the deck though. All right, Ace of Swords and the Fool. So to me, this is talking about those divine masculines who have struggled for a long time to leave behind a situation. They have been stuck in it. Queen of Wands, most likely a karmic third-party situation. Again, I already should have known. I know this energy. Every time it comes through, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it, But again, there's a lot of important stuff that comes through, even when we go a little bit darker than probably most of my tribe is used to. But at the same time, even those in my tribe who have really done the work and DM is a little further along, all of that, they still even have to deal with some of the darkness even from the past, but even mistakes that are made presently. So if you feel like your divine masculine is starting to come out of or seeing the light in a dark situation, whether they want to or not, this is going to be an important reading for you. And Four of Pentacles. There's this feeling of feeding the beast. This gives me really strong ego vibes for some reason. It gives me a feeling of somebody who's tapping into like almost like a survival instinct over anything else. It's all right. So divine masculine wanting to set out, wanting to go do something different, but feeling stuck, feeling incapable of freeing themselves due to some sort of karmic issue. All right, what are we missing about this? Four of Cups. That the other part of them that keeps them there is the parts of them that even you love, the parts of them that are loyal, the parts of them that are true, the parts of them that really have a heart. And so what we see is the improper use or utilization of skills. I'm going to use something that was meant to be used for good for evil. I'm going to use things that are typically used in an evil space, but I'm going to be good about it. Like there's this weird, like this person seems to run by a lot of codes, even if they're not the standard moral code. All right, what else do we need to know here? Two of Swords. There is a lot of dancing around the truth. There's a lot of pretending in their life. And this is, again, this kind of comes with that moral space that they're in where this is the appropriate way to handle things. This is the right way to do things. Because any other approach would be unwelcome here and bring attention to this person in the wrong way. So this is not just them, this is them being a product of this environment and then going into it in their adult years. This might be something where if they didn't deal with this directly as a child, where it's just like, again, going from one situation to the other, the exact same deal, just, this one I was born into, this one's by choice. I think that there's going to be some things that they have in common with their childhood. So this is something important too, is how much work have they done when it comes to healing and really freeing themselves from that darkness. All right, let's pull out. Ooh. Okay. Time is running out, not having the divine feminine in their life. But the path to love and passion will happen when they take another perspective. So whatever perspective they have at this time doesn't exactly, see the divine feminine or that situation in a good way. I feel like I'm supposed to do like that, and we're gonna go boom, boom, boom. And once they start to understand it for what it really is, I think things will be different, okay? All right. All right. There is a sense of some sort of manipulation, but I can't quite figure out what it's trying to talk about. Queen of Cups. Queen of Swords. Whoa. Whoa. We've seen 3 queens and we've barely seen any cards today. Okay, Page of Cups. Feminine energy. That's where without the right feminine energy, that was what that message from the runes was. Without the right kind of feminine energy, they cannot heal. So this tells me that there is like a crack in their foundation. Woo! Okay. How many of you resonate with that? If I said there's a crack in your divine masculine's foundation, I'm not just saying like, oh yeah, preach, Grace. No, I mean like, whoa, that was interesting phrasing, Grace. Let me tell you. I have a curiosity here for some reason. Whoa, okay, all right. What else do we need to know? Oh, okay. There's this. And then I want to do that. Okay. All right, let's find out what it is we're supposed to do. 919. All right. First thing. So we need to get to the bottom of this childhood thing. If you're here, if you're in the chat right now, does your divine masculine have like obvious childhood issues? Some of you might say, well, no, but they did tell me something that stood out to me. I remember somebody that I was with, when I first met them, they told me how great their mom was. Like, oh, my mom's so cool. They're, she's great, blah, blah, blah. And then like a year into the relationship, told me that their mom had told them if they just pinned their ears back, like surgically, and got their nose done. Like, this is a woman to a young son, her son, that they could actually be a little bit handsome. Like, so you have some people where they might not even know it. They might not come to you and say, oh yeah, I had a terrible childhood. There's something important that for some reason it comes up, and then the very first thing wants to bring up is, hey, sun, the sun card. There are things that the divine masculine simply cannot think of, cannot go forward with, because these ideas are blocked by trauma, by negative thinking. I mean, we're talking about somebody who has, if not a terrible attitude, can be really cynical at least. But also, sometimes people in their ego, remember, it's not always like that. Sometimes it's not macho, sometimes it's inner child is what's really running the ego. And so we could even have divine masculines that are just so down. What do we need to understand before we go forward about what, again, kind of is coming across as, hey, childhood issues. This is what you need to know. They're repeating a cycle, something that they've been in for a really long time. Wow, this was the first card and it comes out again. What's interesting is whenever I have certain cards, I know some of you might be like, why would you do that? You got to think about this. I shuffle and I clear my decks before I start recording, but you know me, I like to do everything on camera. I don't want to come in with a spread already set up, because I would be like, how can I be sure you didn't just put those that way? Sometimes if I'm about to shuffle and there's a, what I would call a good card on the top, I will flip the deck over and split it and then not look at the bottom card, because I don't want to be influenced. I don't want to be thinking about that energy. I can't remember what the card was when it came out, but I remember thinking, oh, I definitely want to clear this again. To see the Fool show up with the first card, the Sun card has the Fool energy in it. 1 + 9 is 10. 1 + 0. Those two numbers are very powerful on their own. They can stand alone. Then we have the Fool with the wand in their hand. Issue being that the Queen of Wands came up to represent the karmic situation today. We're talking about a repeat, and we're talking about cracks in the foundation. We're talking about being in similar situations. There is something very strong here that says you don't have to believe it, but someone has your DM. We could even think about it like, as this is weird, but by the spiritual cojones, okay? Like someone has your DM locked. And in some cases, it's not going to be like a sex thing or like a karmic like partner. I feel like there is a lot of energy holding these divine masculines back right now. So we're not just talking about, oh wow, and I hold on now. The sun in this deck happens to be like kind of peeking out from behind the clouds while the Fool trying to get away on this like never-ending story type. So there's something here about this sun card that says pay attention, they're being watched. So my point, what I was trying to say before is this is a divine masculine who has often been put into situations where it's easy to manipulate them. Oh, there's that energy. This is okay, hold on. Step back, Grace, because you just lost a thought. The thought that was about to run away from me is this is like, have you ever heard somebody say, whether about themselves or somebody else, that a certain person was an easy target for a bully? I was an easy target for a bully growing up because I happened to be a part of like the last era before mixed kids were everywhere. So when I was growing up and everybody realized, the white kids, the black kids, the Spanish kids, they all realized, oh, you're a weirdo. Man, I was an easy target just for being mixed. People would bring it up all the time, call me all kinds of things. There were certain things about my personality, even as I got older, that I know, like me wanting to stick up for little guys, and it just opened me up, right? There are people who they're shy, so people bully them. There are people who are overeager, so people take advantage of them and in a way are bullying them through, what are you going to put up with in order for me to, you see, there is something about this divine masculine that makes them an easy target for manipulation. And I don't think that this is new. And this is interesting because I know this is going to sound weird, but I actually know a few people's divine masculines. One through a really weird coincidence, but others for different reasons. And I know a few other people through just working with these clients for years. We can't look at all these divine masculines like they're just big dumb doofs. That's not true. Some of them are definitely not scared of nothing, not easily bullied. So when we think, well, what could they be getting manipulated on? Well, usually the ones that are really powerful get manipulated easily by pentacles, right? Like we can kind of actually pin down. And so we've got to figure out, whoa, somehow or another, this person's pride is coming in. And in their pride, they have stuck around a situation. But it's not just their pride that has them really stuck. There's like a second boundary around them. And that seems to be whatever or whoever this sun card, whatever this manipulation is. So, okay. All right. Oh, so by the way, I pulled up an Android. For those of you who say on Android you can't like it, can you do me a favor and like this? Oh, video inception. Can you do me a favor and like this? You just have to press the 3 button up here and you see it'll come up. You can like it. And right now it says one person likes it there, but it says 22 at the top. So hopefully you guys are able to see that. Hopefully YouTube is able to start notifying people of how to use their new system. But I think this message is going to be really important, especially when we've got things kind of flowing already. So please do like the video. All right. What else do we need to understand here? All right. What do we need to know about the DM situation right now? Sorry, as I was saying this thing, I looked and was like, okay, so we have a K for karmic. What we need to know is it's absolutely a karmic situation that they're dealing with. Now, Karmic situations in the twin flame community typically consist of what? A third party, a karmic family somehow, karmic job, or even like in my case, my DM's real karmic situation that actually brought us a lot of not really strife, but like just kept us stuck was his car. Was like obsessed with this car. And there's a lot of divine feminine, surprisingly. I was shocked that are always like, oh my gosh, you too? So what's the karma? What's the situation? What's going on? What do we need to know? Gosh. Karmic, but this is where things get really interesting to me because, sure, we could absolutely say that for a vast majority, this is going to be a third party situation where there is an additional love interest or, it used to be love, but right, it's like an intimate relationship. But here's where, to me, it's actually kind of, with some of the cards that we've seen, I feel like this Ace of Cups is really trying to get our attention about what's in the cup. This, to me, is a representation of the manipulation. Let me see what this deck says. Because, it opened right to Queen of Wands. Oh my gosh. That made me kind of get a little, ugh. All right, here's 10 of Cups. All right, okay. Ace of Cups. Not everything is as it seems. And perhaps you have seen something on the surface of the water that has you second guessing your decision to explore the cup further. The question, though, is it really there? And can you trust your physical eyes right now? Your faith is being tested when the Ace of Cups shows up as a challenger. You're being asked to see why your intuitiveness... You're being asked to see with your intuitiveness instead of your physical sight. And this may not feel as safe and normal as you would like it. Hello, divine masculines. There may be no guarantees on offer, but then again, there are never any of those. It is your choice to trust yourself and know a true gift when it shows up in your life, or live a life of suspicion and mistrust and miss out. Bro, you remember when I said in the beginning there's a feeling of deception, but I can't quite pin it down? Y'all. The divine masculine is at a point where if they're not a real DM, so really they would just be like a masculine partner, masculine energy. We even say potential divine masculine around here. But again, once you take that divine part out, they will fall away because they're going to be stuck in their situations. They're going to do something dumb. If your DM does something dumb, and I'm not talking like they're in a happy marriage and you haven't talked to them for a long time, and it's probably not your time, and then they get pregnant or something. That's not the same. I'm talking about a DM who goes and gets like the worst possible person in their life, like their ex or their baby mama they don't even talk to. Something, I don't know, something bad. Something that is not meant to happen, something that they would consider a mistake, something that is not done in love. If they do something like that in the next couple of years in a way that like destroys their life, that is not a divine masculine. And look, I wouldn't have said that a few years ago. And the only reason I'm saying it right now is because I can see where the collective is going. And the next 18 months are going to be so fabulous for the Twin Flame Collective. We are walking into a space that is designed for us. So we can't have these, quote, divine masculines still going off and gallivanting. If that's truly what they're doing, just debauch on top of debauchery every time you've ever spoken to them, I don't know why you've convinced yourself that that's a DM. But again, if they're in a regular relationship and it's not your time, that doesn't count to me. That's not the same type of situation, right? Like maybe that's the whole reason they're supposed to be with that person. So your job right now is to figure out, is my person being like basically spiritually POISON, is it SONDED? Okay. You know what I'm trying to spell, right? Okay. I just want to make sure that you are not making assumptions or putting blame on somebody who's just there to be a good person in your DM's life, but also not ignoring the stuff that is obviously karmic. It's not going to be easy, but I do think that knowing that they are in some sort of karmic situation that is set to end, you will be able to see how they handle it and know, okay, That's whether you're aware of what you're doing or not, DM, it was divine how you handled it. How everything played out for you. You got really lucky. Like let's say you end up having a situation like that and they think it's their baby or something, and then it comes out later that it's not even theirs, right? Because they take a paternity test. That kind of stuff. Like that is like saved. Again, if they don't want it, if it's not meant for them, then saved, right? Like thank goodness I don't have to deal with that now. We're seeing divine masculines who I think are divine is trying to kind of show off a little bit. And DMs, when they're in the old lifestyle that they've been so committed to, think about the way I said, they use good for evil and evil for good. They're so backwards. They need like skating by on the skin of their teeth. They need moments where they almost didn't stop on the edge of the cliff and they're like, whoa, and they look over at their partner and they're like, whoa, did you see that? This is the action movie of their life right now. There's going to be some stuff that happens. It's been honestly started up for the last couple of months for true DMs that have just been on point, on the road, and really stuck. But for the ones who continue to create that stuckness, for the ones who are just so traumatized there's no way out, or at least seemingly so, these divine masculines are about to be on the ride of their life. So don't think this roller coaster that you've been on is just for you, okay? And again, at least you know you're on a roller coaster. Imagine being blindfolded and you wake up and you're in motion. Like that's what the divine masculine is going to feel. So the excitement for me is I think that everything is going to end up being okay in the end. There's something about the divine masculine that I have a good feeling about. What is this? Okay. This is actually the DM symbol. Like the divine, this is the emperor essentially in this deck here. And we have death, but death reversed. This is also making me think about the fact that we've got 1 + 3 is 4 that keeps showing up for the divine masculine collective today. What is your foundation? What is your foundation? Well, I think what this says is divine masculines will end up defeating this energy of death that has been looming around them. Death is not going to get a hold of them. And what that tells me is they're in such a karmic situation. And my astute observation here about the what's in the cup. Okay. Like, I'm not drinking that cup. And they're like, drink it. And you're like, I ain't drinking that cup. This divine masculine is smart enough to either know they're going to need an antidote or, they're just not going to drink it. This divine masculine's intuitive foundation is still bigger than their trauma or traumatic foundation. Think 4 of Swords. That golden sword of truth can cut through those 3 swords of, iron or whatever hanging over their head. And there's just something really powerful about the image of a divine masculine defeating death. In fact, the Emperor card is also number 4. We've got 1 + 3 is 4. And what this tells me is they know how to overcome this pain because they were always meant to. So have some hope here that true divine masculines won't have any problems. And even if they do, it's going to be stuff that divine goes, all right, now I've created an impossible situation for you. Now I've put something that is so far out of your hands, there's nothing you can do to fix it, but just let it ride. And now I'm going to do for you what you don't deserve, but what you only don't deserve because someone stomped out your hope when you were a baby. Someone took your love from you when you were so young. You don't really deserve this by your actions and behaviors and all that, sure, but you haven't had grace in your life, and I'm going to give you that now. That's what the twin flame journey brings us, is a mercy that we don't really deserve for like who we've been, but for who we're going to be, we absolutely do. This was never the true intention. We were never meant to identify as broken or empty or any of that stuff. Grace is preaching. Let's move forward. Divine masculines are going to feel different. What is it that we need to understand about this situation right now? Again, we're starting to get the picture. They're going to be okay because of who they are, the true divine masculines. What do we need to know, though, about what they're dealing with? D. What does this D stand for today? Some days it's decisions. Some days it's detachment. This D stands for direction. And it makes me feel kind of like no direction. It kind of also makes me feel like I don't want to say that. Again, I feel sometimes my 3D self says don't say that, but it's what I see, so I'm like, damn. But let's say near death experience. How about that? How about that? That's the happy medium. There is going to well, it kind of fits with the reading anyways, so I guess maybe that's where I was supposed to go. Having this near death experience not only brought divine masculine closer to whoever's been feeding them this, not great, right? But also, it made the divine masculine look at them like they were so holy and special and amazing and safe. And that person can't live up to that expectation because they're probably pretty trash. And not because they're just a bad person. No, they choose to be trash. You ever met people like that? Someone might correct them and say, don't say that. Be like, no, I was born garbage. I'll die garbage. And you're like, oh my gosh, relax. These are the kind of people, not necessarily the trash part, the garbage part, the bad person part, but like yeah, I know I'm a bitch. Like, I don't care. I have family like that who say exactly those kind of words. This is the direction that their life has been going for a long time because the people around them, that's where they're going. Which, again, that's nowhere. What do we need to understand about this feeling? The star. That the divine masculine in the near-death experience saw the light, saw the vision. And they mistakenly thought that the person who they believed saved them, which there might not even been anything to be saved from, but anyways, they mistakenly thought that this person was like amazing, but really the person was just there. It was who they happened to have around them at the time. That's the only reason why the person was in a place to, quote, save you or make you feel safe or whatever. And in that moment, the divine masculine saw something. But on the other side, it was so strange. It was bizarre even, I think, that it felt like a coma dream. You know, it didn't feel like a vision. It didn't, because it was just so incredibly amazing that it just, you know, they couldn't really believe it. But wait, have you ever had a good dream? Like a dream so amazing you try to go back into it? I've had a few in my life that right now I can remember key moments. And for me, all those dreams were like where I was loved. I was loved. Oh my gosh. And this divine masculine, whatever this near-death experience kind of vibe is meant to represent for them, could even be dream, because it does feel like something that happened under yeah, like they were intoxicated. I cannot explain this. This is such a crazy feeling, but it's so clear. It's almost like they died to their physical self for a moment. And in that moment, their emperor, their higher nature, lived and breathed within them and kept them in this space. And for a moment, they could see with those eyes. Again, some of y'all can't keep up with my metaphors and y'all think I'm just talking crazy. I know exactly what I'm saying. I hope you rewind. Oh, this is... It's fine, Grace. It's fine. What we need to know about the situation is that it has created the ability for the divine masculine to dream, to hope, to wish again. It's kind of backwards and opposite because the situation is so... But it's realizing how bad the situation that they're in is, that they're like, oh my gosh, there has to be something else. This is rock bottom. I'm kind of getting the okie doke. They got the divine okie doke and found out. Okay. Last thing, what do we need to understand about the situation, this karmic situation that they're in? That they are still divinely protected. Because this is not something where it's like, oh, they were so bad and willfully evil that they ran into darkness and this is what they get. No. I don't know why readers be trying to tell y'all that. I don't know why. Why? What sense does that even fucking make? They're a divine counterpart. Yeah, divine might let him get a little roughed up, just like we do. But if you think that they've gone into a divine, like a karmic situation that doesn't appear divine, and that divine can't see them, divine doesn't know, how come you got to go through a dark night of the soul, but they're just dark? No, this is where they're supposed to be. Because this person was so hurt and abused by people and or life that without whatever this is, that is just stirring up a carnal soul part of them that is like, they didn't even know it was there. They're tapping in this season. This is what they needed. And it's gotta suck. Because, man, for someone to tell me what my divine masculine needed was to go a bunch of women or something, I'd be like, you got me fucked up. I'd be like, I don't know about this, guys. This doesn't sound like anything I'd want to hear. But then again, I have right ahead of me 30 romance novels where these dudes all sowed their royal oats before they found the one. I don't know, man. I feel like we have to start to look at what masculine energy is within our person, and how there are certain tropes that won't apply, but there are certain things that the divine masculine is going to experience, and we don't have to hate them for it. They are protected. And I know there are going to be some people who say, Grace, what are you talking about? Do you know? Go read the comments. People don't even talk to me sometimes. They talk to their DM in my comments, and the things that they say are so mean that they get blocked and put into my, not just, there's a part in my YouTube that's like, here's the things we've pulled out of your comments that you need to approve. And then there's another part that's like, show me more. And when you click it, it says these comments may include derogatory terms or something like that. Are you sure you want to see them? That's how. Do you know how often that space is filled? The Love Letter channel is full of that stuff. I know my tribe is high vibe, but we are expanding. We're reaching more and more people who are being trained to think like that, that DMs don't deserve divine protection, that what they're doing on their journey is outside of the divine sphere. That's just not true. Not true, DMs. No. What do we need to know about this divine protection? Whether it's what they need protection from, or what it's doing for them, or what? And it's crazy because it's bright fire. Woo! What do they need protection from? Well, I think first of all, they need protection from themselves. And you might say, Grace, how you gonna give that whole speech? Well, what did I just say? I said there was a moment where they died to their physical self that is not just about what we think about. How many of you have a sugar addiction? Be real. It's not just about what you choose to do. Sometimes you have habits. My mom gave me my sugar addiction. My mom made me the way that I am when it comes to food. My mom made me a binge eater. My dad made me unhealthy when it comes to like my weight and weight. That was put in me. But if I go get healthy, there's a whole movement now that might say you're a bad person for doing that. The whole world is so messed up. We all have judgments. The DM's internal self is truly divine, just like yours is. Even when you do stuff that you'll never tell anybody because you're ashamed. I got those moments too. You will never know. Especially the moments that nobody else knew. Shame, we all have it. And yet, we see divine protection not only from the divine masculine's undivine self, meaning what was really being protected was their divine self, which means that the person you're going to be with when you get into reunion, or the person you're starting to be introduced to as you reconcile and reconnect, that person is a different person, but they were carried by the person that probably created this damn fire. So it's going to be really difficult for a lot of us to look at divine protection and say they got protection from themselves and not be like, Grace, everything you just said. I get it. I get the principle. I get all that stuff. But when we're talking about divine truth, when we're talking about the love of your life, they got divine protection from themselves, and you should be happy. And if they got divine protection from themselves, who else do you think did? You want to know why you had to be separated? Honey, you want all your stuff to be on fire? No, I don't think so. All right, Grace, it's Sunday. You're being all, wow. Fine. 33. That's an important number, guys. That is an important number. Divine masculine is stepping into a master builder energy. They're stepping onto a divine path. They're stepping onto what is divine consciousness and divine manifestation colliding. What do you need to know about them, even though they've been here, when it comes to this massive reset that all of them have been getting prepared for and will experience over the next month? And again, if you watch this later, you have a job to do here. The number one job is to look at when the video was posted and ask yourself, has this energy resonated for me from the past? Or is this energy resonating for me now? If you're watching this now, we're talking about between now and July. But if you're watching this later, the energy might be you're on a later wave. This information is for you now. If you find that you need to come back, and I have a reason I want to say this for the rest of you that are here, you need to look back at June, July of 2024. Now, those of you who are here right now, you need to look back at March, April of 2023. Okay? You say, Grace, how do I do that? Go through your camera roll in your phone and through your text messages with the person or anything from around there that stands out. Emails, whatever. Anything around March, April of 2023, I recommend that you go back and just get a sense of the energy, because it has a lot to do with what's happening now. And it's going to be especially important for those of you who have access to your DM. Think about what they were going through just over a year ago. Okay. All right. What do we need to know about this reset? The sun, y'all. It makes me really happy because it feels like the divine masculine finally gets to come in and be themselves. Like, for so long, they were stuck being either who they thought everybody else wanted them to be, or they were stuck being who they were being kind of forced to be. And again, I know sometimes it's like, oh, don't make excuses. Look, you've been in situations where people would probably have told you, just do this, or just leave, or just say this, or blah, blah, blah. And you were like, I can't. If you can think and wish someone had empathy for you in that situation and how complicated it was, you can have empathy for them right now. This divine masculine has been in a situation where someone has been capitalizing on some of their biggest flaws, their biggest weaknesses. They are around a taker. They are around cowards. They are around really fucked up energies. And the sad part is, if you have a divine masculine who kind of hangs out with, like, you know, people who think they're perfect, richies. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like people who you would look at and assume they had it all together. I don't know. Whatever that means to you. Then imagine the depth of the manipulation there. I'm just saying. So we have the sun, justice due, the grace offered from the childhood that is now returning to the divine masculine on a spiritual level for the next 18 months. They're going to experience it. Really 19 where I am now. That makes me giggle. So we've got this 1 + 9 is 10 energy. We've got the Fool. We've got the Magician, 1 and 0. We've got even Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot that just explodes in this. What have we not considered? 8 of Swords. What we have not considered is that divine masculine still has to escape. These energies have been showing up, and I try to show like with my hands I do, you know, a kind of a C, and then I overlap them so that you can tell, okay, there's this energy back here that maybe is the past, there's this energy up here that is the future, and then in this little circle is where divine masculine is right now. And divine masculine is having to deal with a collision of energies. I keep feeling like there's this boom and fires, and it's a lot. So, what do we need to understand about the reset itself? Now that we know the reset is happening at a point where there's new energy and there's old energy, and there's a divine masculine who has been manipulated. All right, I think I'm there. 9 of Cups, yes. Yes to your dreams. Yes, divine masculine. What do you want? What do you envision? What do you see? What have you always wanted? And this points me, this cocoon that this 8 of Swords energy put them in, gave them time to think. It gave them time to dream. Remember I said coma dream? This grandiose just does how, what is this giant whale? Where are these cups? What is this weird circus that I'm seeing? It's so strange. And it says, no, look at it. Really think about this, divine masculine. This is not just some odd dream world. This is your future. What do you want? Divine masculines are being given 2 choices, 2 paths. What are the 2 paths? We have 1, 8 of Cups, and it kind of looks like they're trying to duplicate the dream almost. They're trying to bring it along with them instead of going to where the dream is or something like that. Hold on. And then they have Strength. This is interesting. These are both 8s. And I feel like this is pointing to their karma. And it's interesting because this person, to pull this tub with basically the whole 9 of Cups dream in here, has to be pretty strong. But this is the person that has been engaging with the poison and all that stuff. Then over here we have someone who's using their strength to do something different. What do we need to know about these paths? That the 8 of Cups path of trying to bring it all forward, it is a sign that the divine masculine may be struggling struggling with a lack mentality. Sorry, I was like, what? They might be struggling with fears and doubts about being able to start over. Okay, what do we need to know about the 8, the Strength here? With the Strength, the energy is there is a challenge to learning this process. And there's someone who's going to call them. They're going to have conflict, or be conflicted about this choice. Someone is trying to call them back. The producer of this show that they've been a part of is saying, hey, where are you going? You can't leave. But the thing is, the dream is a different world. And if you notice the color scheme, you've got the bluish in the dream world, and kind of in these future like visions, I guess. And then in the cup of karma, the trick. This is talking about the divine masculine going in the right direction no matter what, but some choosing a path that takes them a little bit longer because they're being stubborn, because they're scared. That's why all these 8 showed up in the last minute. But they're going to get there no matter what. If you have a divine masculine who's very much a King of Pentacles, like all the way, like that's kind of why you identify so much with our channel and our ministry, then yes, they're probably going to take the long way. I'm just letting you know right now. But it's going to lead them where they're supposed to be. Now, there are some divine masculines who, instead of trying to manipulate the new beginning and grab a hold and have control, which again, after dealing with somebody manipulating you that long, wouldn't you maybe want to have the control? But there are some DMs who are going to be able to give it all up and say, you know what? I think that I want to give divine my new beginning. And in doing so, divine is going to create something really special and powerful for them to like walk into. Something that they've always wanted and were promised. What the reason they engaged in this whole karmic situation in the first place was because of the promise. So, if you'll notice, when I split this deck 3 ways here, you've got 10 plus 8, 10 plus 8, 1 plus 8, but 1 and 0, same thing, 10. 18, 18, 18. This shift in energies, in my understanding, is tied to the moon. Does anybody know what's happening? Does anybody know what's happening with the moon? Because it's not, I was thinking eclipse season, but I don't think so. I feel like that would have started before. This is coming next month. I am really curious to see what it is that's going on with the moon and divine masculine, only because I feel like the moon represents us in their life. They are the sun. We are the moon. There's something going on. The 17, 18, 19, sun, moon, stars. There's something happening. But what's really important here is that there is a spiritual shift in divine masculine's energies all across the globe. Again, this doesn't come across as just being about one type of DM. This definitely points to a divine masculine who's been kind of in some sort of karmic situation, but again, that can be anything. So I want you to take a moment and reflect on this. Some of you need to spend some time with the Sun card. Some of you have your own decks. Go pick a deck, not the standard Rider-Waite. Go pick a deck, any random deck. Pull out the Sun card and read what the book in that deck says. If you don't have decks, or the decks you're looking at, the visuals, they don't come with a book, go on the internet and search it. There is something really important coming, and I feel like you being able to connect with the inner child energy coming from your divine masculine, connecting with the trauma, understanding what it is. The really special things that happen on this journey is when you start to look into things and you realize, oh, this is all the stuff I healed, but it didn't make sense why. Why did I have to go through that lesson? Why did I have to go through this or do that? When it doesn't seem to be showing up in my life, and then boom, you reconcile with your DM and you realize every single thing that you can look back at for pretty much the whole time you've been ascending was all about not just being a better partner for them, but being able to build a peace within your home space that is like nothing you've ever understood or seen before. That's really what the work is able to do for you. So I'm excited. I feel like this is a tough energy for the divine masculines to be in, but what I see is somebody who is no longer easily deceived. So I hope this helps you. I want you to take some time. If you would like to expand that a little bit, take time with that 17, 18, 19, with the stars, the moon, and the sun, because I just feel like even that, you might want to look up, hey, what does it mean when these 3 cards show up in a reading? You might want to spend some time with them individually and see what comes to you. I have a feeling here, though, that there is something that needs to be revealed in the process that divine masculine has been undertaking. Some of your DMs, I will warn you, have been able to skip over a lot of this tougher stuff because they didn't get involved. They didn't engage. They were like, no, I'm not doing it. But for those of you who are like, no, not my DM, take some time, because a part of the reason why your ability to use your empathic gift with them is blocked is because without the understanding on the physical level, you can't have the spiritual empathy. So you've got to start to figure out what's really going on and then connect with that first. Like, how would I feel as a human being? Now let me look at it. The issue that is created by many readers' approach to twin flames is there is a almost like entitled, like disrespect driven, tit for tat kind of energy between the DM and the DF. And we end up kind of looking more at all their flaws and all the things that they've done wrong or how they're not with us and all this, and kind of like, yeah, you deserve it. Until you're not with me, you're in trouble. Like we can't do that anymore. We need to start to think about this and say, if our DMs are very much 3D based and we're the 5D part, that yin and yang equality, that balance between us, my inability to connect with their 3D, where I'm just like, I don't understand, might be a bigger problem than I know. And maybe there's a reason Grace comes in and she gives these gems, not just about DMs, but, masculine energy in general, because, being able to connect with it and understand is becoming more and more rare. If you haven't noticed, in the past 5 years, men and women, especially like single life type stuff, we have been divided. We have been split down the middle. Everybody kind of hates each other, and love and relationships have gotten even more tough. One of the things that we love with our ministry and what we do here is that Twin Flames teaches unconditional love. So if you're new here, or even if you're old here, if you've been around or not, I want you to take some time and just say, what are the things, and maybe do as an exercise, right? Pull out a piece of paper, get on your computer, type on your phone, whatever. What don't I understand? You could write a DM a letter that you don't send them, right? But just like that, maybe it's easier to get it out that way. I don't understand why you don't want to be with me. I don't understand why you run away every time you run to me. I don't understand why you ghost me every time this happens. I don't understand. And write it all out. Because what you'll notice once you go back and look at each line that you've written is, oh, I'm so hurt that I don't get it. But when I look at the behavior, you're hurt too. Now, I kind of knew that. But knowing that versus looking at what you've done to me as a whole versus breaking down the behaviors and kind of compartmentalizing and saying, okay, now let me look at this. They're not intentionally trying to hurt you. They care about you. All this, but it gets really hard to remember that the way that the twin flame journey is often kind of promoted and facilitated by others. So join us here if you want to have a better understanding. I have a degree in psychology. I also am an MBA. I'm all about helping twins who are meant to work together get those businesses started. I really care, but I'm also a twin flame myself. I've been with my partner in reunion. He posts on this channel. He posts love letters now. That seems to kind of be the main thing that comes through for him. I just want to help you. And if you don't ever want to buy anything from me, don't, because I put out readings as many times as I can each week. My DM puts out love letters. We've got other channels. There are thousands of readings available for free. If you join as a member to support the channel for like 99 cents, you get access to another 1,000. Any higher levels, there's a few videos that I've just put away for certain people. So that's important. If you are a member and you aren't looking at the members only playlist, there are so many videos that I've been privating or putting in members because I'm like, it's not for everybody. So whatever there is, you don't have to do anything beyond this. But if you need me, I have sessions available tomorrow, Thursday. Okay. If you want to talk, if you need to vent, if you need to ask questions, if you need to figure out, do I need to be in therapy? Like whatever's going on. The main question everybody likes to ask me is, am I crazy? And I think I've maybe had 1 or 2 people that I've been like, you need to go see somebody, but also this is a real situation, but you're not going to be able to do both. Otherwise, most of you need to have someone say that to you. Hey, anybody in your position would be freaking out right now. Many of you need someone to say, hey, what are you going to do with all this? I could do it here, but if you need to feel like you have that connection, that's why I have calls. That's what I do here. I post, I go live now a couple times a week. I'm trying to get back and connect with everybody. It's about to be my birthday. I want to try to organize something to where we can actually like maybe hang out this year. I don't know. I'm trying to be here because I feel like there is so much big stuff happening in the collective right now. I don't want you to feel alone or confused. If you have a question, if you need anything, leave it in the comments. Hey, Grace, can you do a reading about this? If I feel like it'll benefit the collective, I'll do it. But whatever the case is, don't let anybody lead you astray on this journey anymore. If you don't vibe with me, don't listen to my readings, because I don't want to drop good stuff on you, but because you don't like me, you don't want to get the message, don't even follow me. But if you're just like, oh, down to earth, person in reunion, multi-ethnic, so she gets it, I'm here. I love you guys. You are my only friends. You guys know the deal. So if you need me, hit me up. Oh, I didn't do this. I'm sitting here doing all that talking. Yeah, there's my website, thefierygrace.com. I'll put the link in the comments and stuff. All right, everybody. I hope that you are all well. And if we have an appointment tomorrow, I will talk to you then. Take some time with some of the cards that were mentioned today. Take some time with some of the numerology that came out. See if anything stands out. I love you. Have a good night. Peace.